So last week we had Natasha on, and she's back with us again this week, and we are going to pick up with some more questions from a viewer, and we're also just going to talk more about your all's relationship and the romance and all the fun shit that is good. We're also doing it pretty lit right now because this is my first.
They are so lit.
Hey, but I just want to point out, y'all look at this hair. I just got my hair did.
She did get her hair did
specifically for this.
Yesterday I was like, I gotta be looking good.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Looking fly.
Also, titties.
Yeah, thanks for dressing up for the show.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. Because, otherwise I was going to have just like
Yeah.
a normal t-shirt and leggings.
Yeah, dressed up, hair, cleavage.
Which, t-shirt and leggings also get you laid.
I put makeup on and it's Sunday.
Me too, man.
She don't generally do that just for the Lord.
I did my brows. Did my brows today.
Did you? I did mine.
I have a friend, a dude friend, who his eyebrows are the nicest eyebrows of anybody I've ever seen.
That pisses me off.
I'm just like, wow.
Pisses me off.
Just like, how do you do that, man?
I did start going, instead of getting mine waxed now, I go to the eyebrow threading place.
Mm-hmm.
That's some weird shit, but it's
What
so
does that
cool.
mean when they thread your eyebrows?
Take thread, like it's this little...
Literal thread.
Yes, this little Indian lady.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all she does all day long is thread eyebrows, basically.
But like, what is the process?
So she takes the thread and like twists it between her. So she's got like her fingers and the thread.
Yeah.
And then she puts one end of the thread in her mouth. So she's like literally sitting over you going.
I'm kind of turned on.
Like,
same.
Like, it's the best thing ever. Like, my eyebrows have never looked this good in my whole life.
I want to go get my eyebrows threaded.
It's basically like plucking them, isn't it?
Is that what it is? Is it
but
plucking?
it's like so
It's a friction between two of them.
Yeah, and it just pulls them out. Like, look up
excess
look
ones,
up
right? I guess I need to Google this for
she
sure.
gets this.
You really have to see it to
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the emotions that Natasha was making, I could get into it.
I believe
probably.
it's giving you a false impression of what's actually going on.
Probably. I feel like it'd be way more boring in the actual
it is.
place
And it literally takes her like
Natasha
5
just
minutes.
made it sound like.
She'll make you lay back in the chair and she's like, do this. So you gotta like hold your eyebrows up, your eyelid down, and
there
it's painful.
I wish I were in a position in my life where I felt like it was super important to take care of my eyebrows.
Well,
but
guys
that's the goal, really.
Right.
But
other than the ones that are really superficial and want their eyebrows to look like that.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but mine are just like caterpillars if I don't do something.
Says the superficial woman who wants her eyebrows.
I just feel like,
No, I'm just too lazy to pluck them anymore.
Right.
I'm just going to pay somebody $10 to thread my eyebrows.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I need to be getting in on. And then I'll just stick to my massage.
Pluck a stray every now and then.
I've only had one like spa day, but it was nice. Do you have those ever? Spa days? Do you have those?
No,
I used to go
get a pedicure once. We went.
We did go get a pedicure.
I'm weird about feet.
It was for Father's Day. We went and got a pedicure together. It was right after my car accident.
That's cute.
And I've got videos somewhere of Jeff going, ooh, every time they touch his feet.
Like, I can't get down like that. You can't touch my fucking feet.
That was really like
they finished the pedicure.
Well, my accident was in May, and that was in June. I still had like my wound vac and stuff on, like,
oh wow,
like here I go with my little wound vac purse and had a pedicure done. I'm like, let's go. I want a pedicure. I can't reach my toes right now.
I love it. So since the last time we chatted on here a few minutes ago or a week ago, depending on your frame of reference,
your perspective,
Natasha and I have gotten a little more wasted, and now we're gonna return to.
Okay, we're getting serious now.
Yeah, we're gonna return to Teresa's question. Yes, a fellow writer in the writing community sent us 2 questions in. We got one answered the last time, and I ain't gonna recap it. Just go watch the damn episode. The second question that she asks is, and this is for Natasha, but Jeff can chime in. I can already feel my speech slurring. I'm trying real hard to enunciate right now.
You
okay,
sound cute, baby.
Here it goes. Oh, that's nice.
We got
say.
this.
So nice to say with your wife sitting here.
It's all right. She's cool with it.
So here's the question. Is what would you tell someone who is entering a relationship more like yours yours who isn't used to that kind of freedom and who is only used to toxic monogamy rules, what would your advice be to a person in that situation?
The same thing I said earlier. Communication and 100% honesty.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
Like, you have to be transparent. You have to be vocal about your needs and your wants and put it out there. Like, you have to be vulnerable. You have to let yourself hang out there.
Is this something that you think needs to be made very clear in the dating stage when you're just kind of getting to know somebody? Or is this like a
day one,
first
date?
Like, and people get scared and run away from each other because of this shit. But like, you have to put that out there. If you're going, and people do this shit all the time, like, you all are relationship goals, whatever. Like, we're just fucking honest.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's the only secret ingredient.
That's it. We're honest. We talk about things. We don't fight. Like, very rarely do we have a disagreement. But even if we do, we sit down in the bedroom and I punch him in the face. And then everything's fine.
Very different approaches we heard there.
So, no, like, we're not screamers. We don't stand here and yell.
Well, not when you fight anyway.
No.
Right?
Brown
See
chicken,
what you
brown
did there?
cow.
Sorry, it's the wine. No, it's not. I'm a pervert.
The thing about the honesty...
the wine just brings that out.
Like, that's it. Like, if anybody going into any relationship, and I have been in some really fucking toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Like, my marriage wasn't, my previous marriage wasn't a terrible relationship. He wasn't abusive. He wasn't mean.
Right.
Like, we just weren't the people for each other.
Right.
But I had a couple of really bad relationships between him and Jeff. And that's when we started talking, I was just like, here it is. This is what I've put up with. This is what I'm not going to put up with.
Did you both come from situations where maybe you didn't get the communication and honesty right in those relationships, and so it's kind of like, well, fuck, this is obviously the thing I've got to do better with this next person, and that's just sort of how it clicked? Or like, explain how that sort of evolved.
I know I consciously did that coming out of my first marriage, was taking stock of what I had done wrong and where I'd made mistakes. And because at some point, especially when it turns into a long, 14-year marriage, it starts going wrong, and then that kind of feeds on itself. And in yourself, you have, however much was the other person's fault, that's fine, but you got to find where you went wrong on that too. And also get into the kind of the question about coming out of kind of a toxic monogamy sort of paradigm into something closer to what we have. I think the key to that, like, we'd both been through similarly bad relationships. The key going forward into something like what we have is not projecting your past onto that.
Yeah.
It takes a certain amount of bravery.
Right.
It takes a bravery to be honest, and it takes a bravery to
just
allow
because you've
someone
been
else to be
through it
honest.
doesn't mean you're going to keep going through it, and you
And
have to stop
some
that
trust
cycle.
there. Yeah.
And there was some definite specific things that I had been through that I had to make myself say, I'm not going to project this onto anyone else in the future. Nobody else did this to me.
Right.
And people go through things, and it's natural to get, more protective of yourself, more, you're trying to protect your heart. When you're closing that off, you're shutting down a lot of the openness that is necessary to have the kind of relationship we have.
I think that was something important that you brought up in the episode where we talked about toxicity, and it's something that I honestly
and this seems to be a recurring theme for us.
Yeah.
And I like it, though. We can keep talking about
something that I thought about when and I had never taken it to heart until you said it on the episode, was that toxicity and getting away from it isn't just about, well, this person did all this shit to me and I'm getting out of it. It's also taking responsibility for your part in that and figuring out how you're going to do better for the next person.
Because when you think about toxicity, it's not always the one person. Sometimes it's about the two people mixed. Just kind of creates this toxic thing.
Well,
so
and I spent most of my marriage hiding who I was to appease this person.
Yeah.
And when it was done, when I finally was just like, I can't do this anymore, and that's when my marriage ended. But I was just like, I'm not hiding who I am anymore.
Right.
here I am.
You shouldn't have to
take it or leave it. Like, and I'm gonna.
Right.
And I even did that. I even did that a little bit in my relationships between my two marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of would hold back a little bit. I was still way more of who I am.
Right.
In those, but it still got me into.
You were still figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it came time for us to do this, I was just like, here it is. This is what you're getting. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And
yeah.
I like it, bitch. I think too a really important point to make here is with the honesty, and that is the key ingredient. That doesn't mean like, and I believe in like I said, first date, throw it all out there and then keep pouring out. That doesn't mean that's not like the secret ingredient. That's not like the magic potion that's going to guarantee this works.
Yeah.
You might not be sitting across from the person that's your person, but if you be honest with them right from the start, then you're going to keep both of you from wasting a lot of fucking time.
Right.
And
especially at our age.
We were with the wrong people for a decade and a fucking half.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a long time to be with the wrong person.
Don't flush parts of your life down the toilet because you're afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
You start out and don't do it, and it doesn't even like we kind of came at each other hardcore with our honesty, but it wasn't in a like a fuck you, I'm gonna be me sort of way. You just have to be honest with somebody. Say this is me. Give them and do it in a way that gives them the opportunity to kind of take it or leave it without you getting defensive about it.
Right.
If you're honest about who you are and that's not somebody else's thing, that's fine. That's a good thing to learn. There's billions of people on this motherfucking planet.
Yeah.
Don't get your feelings hurt if one of them ain't into you.
Right.
You know, but the key there is the honesty and the being brave enough to be honest and feel that little bit of rejection.
Right.
And then go on. You know, we got lucky. Like we just timing wise, we were both in the exact same place. We were both ready to be honest, and we were both like, hey, no, I like what you're doing here, and I got you. I can accept you. Right.
Right.
It's not always going to work out that way. Like when you talk about relationships, I think people try to look at it in terms of, you know, if you do this, this, and this, it's going to be perfect. Some people just ain't going to work out together.
Right.
You know, you can go through all the checklists. You can be honest. You can be not jealous, and it still might not be a thing. But the more honest up front you are, the less time you're going to waste. You're going to figure that out.
Let's talk about when people get in that situation, because I feel like this is something we haven't really addressed yet, is when people get in that situation, you know, when you really are drawn to somebody and attached to somebody, but it just doesn't seem to be working for whatever reason. Is there a way that you think is best to deal with that? Like, how do you deal with, like you said, rejection, or the feeling of like, maybe this isn't my person, but God damn it, I really want it to be.
You just gotta, in my opinion,
that's when you got to be honest with yourself.
You just got to cut it off.
I mean, if
you just have to be done.
If you're feeling that, then you already know you're in denial.
You're just kind of hanging on to like a pipe dream at that point.
And that's not healthy.
You know, want to make this person fit you.
And people let themselves get in these positions where they're pouring all this out trying to make this happen. Mm-hmm. If you're not getting that back, then that's not your person. You know,
right?
And if you're having to try that hard.
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
And this is something that I have said since I got divorced the first time. Like, well, the only time I've been divorced, but
the first time.
Like,
wow. So
dot.
Like
stay tuned.
No.
Part 67 is coming your way in a few short years. So, just kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah. Continue.
Like,
where were you?
Every relationship, it doesn't matter if it's a platonic relationship, a romantic relationship, a work like every relationship in your life takes work on your part, but it doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
No, and that's a very good point.
It should just be productive.
Just has, hard. Yes,
you put in effort with people you care about because you want to. But if it feels like if I don't put in all this effort, this whole fucking thing's going to fall apart, then that's one-sided. You're trying to hold something together that you just need to let go.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether, like she said, whether it's platonic relationship, relatives, romantic relationship, co-workers, if you're doing all the work, you know,
if you have to try
relationships take effort.
Hard,
if it feels like an exhausting kind of effort, then you're in the wrong place.
Like we don't try.
No, I don't try at all.
Right.
I mean, I try to make him try in certain aspects, but
yeah,
that's like
Right. Good luck.
Clean up the fucking kitchen.
Yeah, that's like the basic stuff that I feel like that doesn't even approach the level of, I feel you there.
There's still
that's a different kind of trying right there.
But yeah.
But no, like, we don't have to try.
Right. Do you ever, I don't know how much like hanging out with other couples you do, but do you ever like notice toxic things happening with friends and couples and things that you're just kind of like, oh, you're sitting on the sideline like we've got the secret to this problem that we're watching, and like what does that make you feel when you see people going through that?
There are people we've been around that you get a vibe like, and not even in a judgy way, and maybe it's easy for us to kind of sit over here and be like, you know, everything's great here, and then you look at other people, and even if they're not fighting or bickering, you can kind of tell, you're like, y'all motherfuckers ain't in love, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's funny that you brought that up, though. But yesterday I went and got my hair done. I was talking to this girl, and I just happened to know this girl through mutual friends and came in contact with her, and she's an amazing human. But we were talking about people online and how they put, like, their whiny about certain things to like certain people, but then on Facebook or Instagram it's, oh, my husband, I love him, I had the best marriage and he bought me this, and we do like they only dump certain stuff, and that is the thing about us online. If this bitch is ever mad at me, y'all will probably hear about it. It's just, you know,
it's out there,
right? We're just open in that way. I mean, there is a line where you don't. It's kind of weak ass energy to dump your personal drama on Facebook or something. But we're what we present is just who we are. It's just because we have fun, and I guess we're kind of exhibitionists about it, like, hey, look at how fucking happy we are.
Well, when you're in a semi-public sphere, the way you all are, it's, I think, and even people who aren't in a public sphere, it's like, I'm gonna post this passive-aggressive bullshit.
Oh God,
online.
that makes me
and listen,
so angry.
I'm sitting here like a judgy fuck, but I know, like, if I have any friends where I've been there, I've been in that temptation, and I've posted those things, and it's been a very toxic, thing that I've done as myself. But I've tried very hard to improve over the years, and it's just like I've tried to go with that philosophy of like, if I wouldn't say it to your face, or in front of other people, I'm not going to post about it on Facebook or social media, wherever. And I've been trying to do a lot better about that. I think a lot of couples,
that's a good rule to have.
Any relationship, it's like you guys said. It's a good rule to have.
Yeah, like I'm done trying to be somebody else in front of this person and not this person.
Yeah,
like, I am too old and too tired.
We've both, and because of our relationship and because of the freedom we both give each other, we don't have like. We both get to be who we are no matter where we're at, no matter who we're in front of. We just, we don't have these different versions of us. We have to be here, here, here. And I think a lot of people do that,
Do you think that age plays a factor in all of this, in that it's going to be harder for a young person, say 20, 21, it's going to be harder for that person to watch this episode and take this advice than for, say, someone who's been through things like you guys have?
That's definitely for sure. I think in a lot of ways, sometimes,
again, I'm too old and too tired.
Exactly.
When you're 21, you might need to go through a 14-year marriage that kind of wrecks you.
Hopefully not. Hopefully you get it out of your system in like 2 years. But
right. When you're that age, first of all, if they're that young, they're not gonna watch this and want to take advice for any of us because we're too old and we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But that's how we all work.
But we really do.
Yeah, but the advice is the same no matter how old you are. It's a different perspective in that way.
I feel like when I was
young, you should still be fucking honest. Yeah. I'm saying that, and I see with younger people, it's kind of a generational thing that there is kind of this, me, fuck you, I'm going to be who I want to be mentality that they don't actually carry into relationships. Right. It's great to throw shit on Facebook about it, and you can slide way the fuck too far to this fuck you, I'm going to be me mentality. That's not, there's always a give and take in a relationship, and if you're always, if you need to find out who you are and figure out the ways that you can be compatible with someone else. And if you only view the world through, this is who I am and that's all that matters, you're not going to have any good relationships.
A big part of this, our relationship, is that we did go through those 13, 14
you had the hurdles
marriages. And we did know what we're not going to put up
we
with
definitely
and
had
what we want out of something. So that's a big part of it. At 21, you don't fucking know. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm a completely different person than I was at 21.
Yeah.
And I had a kid at 21. Like, I had a kid.
Right.
And was in a relationship with someone.
Isn't it weird, too, when you're like 18, a 21-year-old in a relationship seems like so much older and like they've got it together. But then when you're 21, it's like, wow, I don't know shit. And then at 21, 25 seems like they've got it together. And at 25, 30. And it's just like this ongoing cycle. It's like, wow, I'm continuously learning things. And you don't realize that.
It is an age thing. And that's where maybe, you know, like I was talking about earlier, being honest so you're not wasting time.
Yeah.
When you're 21, you think you got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
To waste it. So you don't view your relationship building in terms of, you know what, if this isn't going to be a thing, I want to know right now and move on. When you get to be when you get to be like us and you're like, you know, death's just right around the fucking corner.
We're like, halfway there. It's time to do something about this.
Let's find the person I'm going to bone forever. Let's do a lot of that.
Yeah, exactly. So just to sort of cap all of this off and recap. So I don't know what kind of people are watching the show in terms of like age range and things like that.
Are these people?
But I guess sort of the big takeaway from this, like you said, it's the honesty and it's the communication. Are there any other just practical tips? And they can be funny, they can be like just everyday kind of things. What are some other, like, if you could give like a specific practical advice other than the broad things of honesty and communication, what are just some specific things over the years that you all have learned? This is what makes a good, healthy relationship.
Have fun.
Yeah.
You've got to find those things that you can laugh with each other with, because even on the worst days that we've ever had, before we go to sleep at night, we're laughing about something. We're laughing about the fact that we had this kind of day, and we made it again. And even when I was in the hospital, almost dead, we were still sitting there laughing about stuff, because that's what we do. Like, you've got to find the happiness in all of it.
I feel like laughter's a good team sport too. It's like if you've got somebody to laugh with.
And that's exactly what I was getting ready to say coming out of what she said is, and we do it. We've done a lot of talking about this across different episodes about relationships. And I think I've said a lot about, you know, knowing who you are and knowing your boundary. And I've talked about it a lot in terms of, you know, me and her, or you and your person, or whatever. Practically speaking, when you're actually in a relationship, looking at it like we're a team. You know, her and I have gone through, like, we started off good. We've been through a lot of shit together, a lot of ups and downs.
Crammed a lifetime of stuff into a few years.
We've been through a lot of stuff that I know for a fact would have torn a lot of other couples apart, no matter how good they were at being couples before the shit hit the fan. When you go into it looking at this like we're a team, from a practical standpoint, and you know, that's why we get to the end of the day and we're laughing about things. We're together. You know, we've never gone through anything where we wound up in this finger pointing kind of, we're in this position because of you, or we're, you know, we're a fucking team,
and we're always going to be a team.
Is hell. You don't let yourself, you know, once you make that decision, this is my person, we're doing this, then don't look at it. You know, in my mind, I'm not like, but that's subject to change. You know, I'm not like, well, unless she does this tomorrow. This is my person. You know, and that's why we've been able to make it through a whole lot of shit and still be sitting here. And we like each other. So
I just think it's crazy, because when I look at your all's relationship, because I know a lot of people in relationships right now who struggle with these very things, and it's just, you all make it look and sound so easy.
Well, that's the other key ingredient here that is not the answer anyone wants, is fucking luck. is finding like
that really.
Neither one of us are fucking relationship experts,
right?
At all. Like both of our track record before we found each other is garbage,
right?
And
we for real.
We learned a lot. We learned a lot from that to go forward and find each other. But also, we're just compatible, and I think, that's where so much, like, I love talking about relationships with people, and we have learned a lot, and I think there's a lot people can learn from us, but that element of luck there is something that can't be taught. You got to find your fucking person. I think being honest part, and that's why I always go back to that, is the way you attract your person,
right?
Because people put on such a front, such a facade that you might be attracting people that aren't really going to be into you once they get through that little costume you're wearing.
You're kind of just setting yourself up for heartbreak.
You're setting yourself up you're just fucking yourself by not being yourself.
Especially if you're really into that person, like if you really like them, but you're withholding that stuff from them, then you're just going to get your heart broken, because when they find that stuff and don't like it, then you're going to feel like shit because, I didn't give them what they wanted or needed.
Be you. You're going to attract people that are going to be more compatible with that naturally. Don't walk around. We said it in previous episodes. This isn't, whether it's relationships or anything else, it's not a fucking audition,
right?
Unless it's an actual audition,
But like on a porn couch,
like life is not a casting couch. Right. If there's not money involved, then just be your fucking self.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's a good kind of place to sum up. You guys have any other closing final thoughts?
I think we did good.
Before I do the ad stuff. Look at you guys.
I love
you. Did you guys love having Natasha on? Hopefully you did. Leave it in the comments. There's another way. Oh, this is going great. Okay, I'm just going to leave it here. Just leave it on that angle for a minute. Okay, back to my ugly mug. All right. So if you guys want to get in on this conversation, there's all kinds of this show still to come. All kinds of possibilities that we can do, and you guys can influence what we do on this show and what you want to hear and what you want to talk about. If these subjects are appealing to you, then please let us know. We have a phone number that you can call us at. It's a brand new hotline we just started not long ago. 209-353-4257. That's 209-35-DICKS.
Dicks.
So yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it.
The three-way.
So for sure, call us on that hotline. We'd love to have you on. That's the kind of stuff that because that way, like, we definitely don't know what's coming. Like, I keep Jeff in the dark on what the topics are going to be every week, but when you give those phone calls, like, we really don't know what you're going to come up with, and we would love to answer your questions. So another way you can connect with us is on the Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/onthesubject. There's all kinds of stuff there. We've been building it up. You can get in on that for as low as $1 a month. You can get the audio podcasts, all kinds of uncensored stuff we can't even put on YouTube, even though we give you a lot of shit on this YouTube channel. There's a lot
I'm still
more.
having trouble seeing where the fuck you draw that line.
Yeah, it's really arbitrary. It's a weird line, but anyway, it's there. So that's going to be it for our 2-part Valentine's Day special. Natasha, thank you so much for coming on and being with us. We will definitely be having you on again in the very near future. Thanks for letting me borrow your mommy's
Hey, no
cup
problem.
Look at this. This wine glass. This is making my life right now, you guys. This is the best thing. I'm going to put it right there so you can really see it. Look at that.
I have a feeling mommy's sippy cup's going to be making several more appearances.
Yeah, it is.
You can use it for all the episodes.
Oh my God, doing it. It's so much more fun to do this show drunk. This is so much fun. Why haven't I been doing this all along? So, all right. Thank you guys for joining in. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.